Welcome back. Today we are going to discuss about big data. So big data is the name given to very large data that we create every day. For example, in our college, every student creates data. For example, attendance, marks, fees, exam forms. So one student data is small, but think of thousands of students. So that we call it as big data. That is nothing but thousands of students. We call it as big data. Okay. So big data refers to huge volumes of data. That is nothing but not a single person, thousands of students generated continuously from many sources like social media, okay, mobile devices or sensors, transactions, IoT, and online platforms. So traditional databases cannot handle these data because it's too big, okay, too fast and too complex. So we distribute these into Hadoop and Spark. Okay, we distribute these big size data to Hadoop and Spark. So for example, think of it like I wanted to store your detail in an Excel. Okay, it looks like this. For example, if I wanted to store, okay, something, okay, for one class it is good. Just think of many colleges are there, and many years data, not a single year data, many years data, and many students, okay, can it be easily handled by me? No, right? That's why we require big data tools that are nothing but Hadoop and Spark. Okay, now here I given Facebook that generates petabytes. It is not MB, it is not GB, it is more than that. Okay, from daily likes, comments, shares, videos, and messages. For example, let us say, imagine in India, all Gen Z, okay, are uploading photos, videos, reels, let us say, photos, videos, reels, stories, and messages daily, right? So that's huge amount of data, right? So similarly to Facebook, okay, this is, we call it as big data. So we are going through the characteristics of big data. So we are having volume, velocity, variety, veracity, and value. So in the next slides I will explain what does these 5 V's represent in big data. Okay, so volume refers to huge amount of data. Okay, so volume refers to huge amount data. Velocity refers to the speed of the data. Variety is nothing but structured, unstructured, semi-structured. Veracity I will explain, and veracity is something but truthworthiness. Okay, if I given some sentence, how true that sentence is, that is we call it as veracity. And the last one is value, so how important that data is. Okay, now let's go through the first one, volume. So what is the volume? So volume refers to the huge amount of data generated every second. It is not like 1 or 2 GB, it is much. So if you see, if you are engaging, if from India all the Gen Z is engaging in social media, just think of how much data they are generated. So big data deals with TBs, PBs, and ZBs, not MBs or GBs. Okay, just think of. So one student attendance, let us say, if I wanted to know the attendance of, let us say, um, Sami, okay, so it is very easy to handle the attendance of only Sami, okay, but not only Sami, I wanted to calculate the 72 students. It is tough, and it is, if that number increases, let us say 1000 students, it is even tough. So the amount is increasing, right? It cannot be handled, so we required big data, okay. So now I have given one example here. One notebook is easy to manage. So one notebook by a single person, easy to manage. But if I give 1 million notebooks, let us think, to Sami, okay, it cannot be managed by single person, right? It cannot be managed by Sami, right? It cannot be managed, okay. So similarly, one computer cannot store big data, okay. So what does it do is nothing but big data will be there and it will be distributed among the systems, okay. 1 GB, 1 GB, 1 GB. It is not like only one computer can store 1 TB, okay. So this is how it works in big data. So here I given one example. Netflix stores your watch history, your watch time, okay, comma, where you are pausing the video, pause time, comma, ratings that are you giving by you for that particular movie that you are watching, and even the device details, okay. Just think of the only user, you. It is easy to store the data, but millions of users, right, for Netflix, so that data will be huge. That we call it as volume, okay. I think it is clear, right? Now moving on to velocity. So velocity means the speed of data generation and processing. Not only the generating the data, okay, but processing the data is required. So data in today, it is continuous. It is not like occasional, but it is continuous. Every time, every second the users are engaging. It is not like at this particular time that users are engaging, at this particular time they are not engaging. But in this Gen Z, the data is very continuous in real time, right? So during, for example, during online exams, answers from many students come at the same time, okay. So that fast speed is called velocity, okay. Now let us go through one example here. Old systems are slow, okay. Old systems are slow. It may take after hours or days to process the data. So modern systems need instant decisions. It will may take millisecond. So for example, let us say letters. I wanted to send a letter, a text in letter to my friend. So it may take 2 days, or if you speed post also, it may take at least 5 to 6 hours, right? Okay, but let us think about the digital world as of now. If I send the same message in WhatsApp, it may take just seconds to deliver the message, right? So big data works like WhatsApp speed. It is not like letters, okay. Now this is about velocity. So you can write this example also. Stock market, so many millions of users are engaging in the stock market. So price will change and every millisecond, okay. The graph should be updated every millisecond, okay. The stock market graph should be updated every millisecond. So we need to have big processing unit, that is nothing but big data. So even credit card fraud detections, traffic signals also generates huge amount of data, because it need to capture whether the vehicle is traveling fast, whether the vehicle is traveling slow, whether the person is wearing helmet or not. Every second the data will be generated and it should be processed. For example, if I am not wearing helmet, let us say, if I am not wearing helmet, so the camera captures me and it should be processed and it should send me the fine, right? So how fast this process should be, that is nothing but it comes under velocity. Now moving on to the third type, variety. So variety is nothing but earlier data was only tables and numbers. Okay, earlier it completely based on tables and numbers, but now data includes text, images, videos, audio, logs, location, etc. etc. Okay, so beyond, I can give one examples, like marks. Let us say marks comes under numbers. Okay, now ID card. Let us say ID card. So ID card will be the image, right? It is not a number. Online lecture, let us say YouTube video. Online lecture, it falls under video. So voice note, so it falls under audio. So all together we call it as variety. So these many types of datas are there. So the mainly we call it as structured, semi-structured and unstructured. So structured is nothing but fixed format which contains rows and columns. So a bank account table, tabular format all comes under structured data. So semi-structured data is nothing but partial structure, that is nothing but JSON and XML comes under semi-structured data. So unstructured data is nothing but there will be no fixed format. It includes photos, videos and emails. Okay. So I can give one example. Marks table is structured. Okay, online form is semi-structured. Online form is semi-structured. Class recording is unstructured. Okay, so this is how so here I gave given the school bag example. If you look here, so the school bag contains the school bag contains books structured, notes semi-structured, lunchbox bottle unstructured. So big data can handle all these together. That is nothing but a bag. Okay, so I have already given WhatsApp, text, images, voice notes, videos, YouTube video plus video comments plus likes, healthcare reports, scans, doctor notes. So different formats are there, right? The different formats are we call in big data as variety. So this is what variety means. Now moving on to another type, veracity. So veracity is nothing but is the data given to us is true or not, is that good data or not. That is nothing but veracity means data accuracy and truthworthiness. Okay, data can be incomplete, duplicate, okay, wrong or fake or noisy. So we need to know how much good the data that someone is given to us. So for example, if I haven't given attendance for Ganesh, let us say, if attendance I haven't given for Ganesh, okay, so it may create or it may leads to condonation, okay, for Ganesh, because I haven't marked the attendance of Ganesh. So that is means low veracity. Low veracity means wrong decision. High veracity means good decision. So wrong data, wrong decision, and Ganesh will lose at the end of the semester. Okay. Now I have given one example here. So fake reviews or incorrect sensor data or typing errors that reduce data quality will be reduced by these conditions or in such cases. Okay, so if marks, for example, Vamshi scored, let us say, 50 marks, okay, but I entered 5 marks, instead I haven't entered 0, what happens to Vamshi? Student suffers, right? Vamshi suffers, student suffers. Okay, so big data tools can clean the data to improve veracity. If somewhere some error has occurred, big data tools can clean it. Okay, big data can identify you that here 0 hasn't entered. Okay, such that Vamshi won't suffer. Okay, now moving on to another important characteristics, value. So what is value? So value means useful information or insight from extracted data. For example, let us say I say Ilyas is a good boy. Okay, what is the useful insight from that sentence? Good boy. So value means it gains or it extract the useful information from that particular sentence. Okay, so data without benefit is useless. If I say Ilyas is, it is not useful, right? If I say the full sentence, Ilyas is good boy, then bad data, that means the value. Okay, that creates the value to the Ilyas. Okay, so for example, college uses data to, for example, improve results. If someone is not doing good, college may give some other technique or some other way. Okay, so what does it do? Another thing, identify, if someone is not performing good, identify weak students. Okay, and plan for placements. This adds the value. Okay, this is nothing but value. If it is not there, this in your institute, then it is nothing, right? So this benefit is called value. Okay, so I've given one example here. So crude oil has no use until it is refined. If the crude oil is raw, then it is useless, right? So data is raw oil, analytics gives the value. Okay, so for example, one more example, Netflix recommends movies that you like. Okay, for example, you are watching horror movie, then it if you are watching here, in the downside you will be seeing the same content, same horror generic movies. Okay, and banks detects fraud early. So e-commerce personalized ads. If you're searching something in the internet, then it will reflect you in Instagram or WhatsApp or some other apps. So in hospitals, predict diseases early, which means value. So useful outcome, we call it as value in terms of big data. So smart cities generate data from traffic cameras, sensors, GPS devices every day, every second, every millisecond, I can say. Okay, this is nothing but this is about the big data and 5 E's of big data. If you are having any doubt, let me know in the comment section.